What is Shakti therapy? Shakti therapy is something that has evolved over my time of being with Kundalini energy. When I was 27 years old, about 30 years ago, my Kundalini was awakened by a Shaktipat master. And at that time, the Divine Mother came through me very strongly. And the energy of grace, or what we call the Shakti, would bless people in the room that were in my presence. And this happened with a lot of people at the ashram at the time. The Shakti was coming through very strongly and blessing people in her presence. And for me, this has evolved over 30 years of doing a lot of deep inner work on myself and working with other people and watching how the Shakti works with other people. At that time, I was doing massage work, and the Shakti would come through me and just start doing the massage for me. So I had to kind of let go of the way I had been doing massage and let her do it the way she wanted to do it. Because if I didn't, I would end up getting sick. Because the way that the Shakti expresses through me, she releases through coughing and making all kinds of interesting sounds. And if I don't do that when I'm working on someone, I end up getting sick. So she has kind of just led my life over the past 30 years. She plays music through me and chanting and leads and directs and guides the way that I've been doing this work. And for a while I was doing group Shaktipat programs, and I'm not adverse to doing that, but I'm not doing it at this time just because I haven't had the opportunity. But what I have been doing is these individual sessions with people. And initially it was maybe once or twice doing a session with someone to do the Kundalini awakening, the Shaktipat. But what it has evolved into is working with people over time, like long term, once a week or twice a week or once a month. Everybody picks their schedule differently. And it's almost more like a therapy session, but the Shakti is doing the therapy. So when I sit down in a session with someone, we talk a bit, talk about what they're going through, what they want to experience, or what they want to bring about in their life. And that gets the energy moving. And then we'll go into meditation together. So I close my eyes, and the person that I'm working with will close their eyes. And I literally just sit and completely surrender to the Shakti energy. And at that point, she comes through to work with the person. And I was hesitant to call this therapy, although really it is. And people tell me it's very much like therapy on steroids, or however you would want to say that. Because when the Shakti works, she really gets in there, goes in to find what is at the core of an issue. This doesn't always happen in one session. You know, if we bring something up, it could happen over a long period of time, depending on how deep it is, depending on how much work someone does on their own between sessions. I work with people who are healers themselves, and they do so much work on themselves that between sessions, they'll have cleared a lot of what we worked on in the last session. But if someone's not accustomed to doing that work, it might take a while. It might take months or a year to really get into something. If it's really, really, really deep, we will just keep working on it and keep going deeper into it. And also, depending on how willing a person is to look at their childhood, their past, their circumstances in their life, past life, cultural, ancestral, all of these things come up during a session. Some people are like, yes, I want to go there. I want to look at it. I'm ready. And others aren't quite ready for that yet. So it depends on who I'm working with, what approach we take. But again, it's not me doing this. It's the Shakti doing this. And I really just observe her working with people. I'm completely conscious during the session, but I'm also removing my ego, so to speak, from the work that's being done. And I've watched the Shakti remove some pretty intense things. That when people are willing and ready to remove it. If someone is not willing and ready to remove it, we can't do that. The willingness and the desire has to be there, which is why it never really works if you want to send someone else to a therapy session. That doesn't really work with this kind of work. It has to be someone's own initiating and own desire to go into the work. So She has guided me to call it Shakti therapy. I was hesitant about this because I have not actually been to school for therapy. I mean, I went to 3 semesters of my initial college education. I did study psychology because that was my interest. But the way it has evolved for me has been a different route, which is through deep meditation and work within myself and working with others. So it's the Kundalini, it's the Shakti that is actually doing the therapy work. And she's asked me to call it that, so that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it Shakti therapy. This is kind of a new term for me, but it really is what it is. That is what we're doing, and that is the work that is coming through in these sessions. So each session is about an hour, and we'll work together for as long as it feels appropriate. I've worked with people for years. We just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into it. So if you are interested, please contact me. I work in packages. So the shortest amount of time I really want to work with someone is a three-time package. I don't like to do once because that first session is a whole lot of work for me. Usually there's a lot of clearing work or kind of getting to know each other work in that first session. It doesn't make much sense for me or you to just do one session. So that's why I start always with a 3-session package. And you can check out on my website to see what's available. Okay. So if you're interested, please contact me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Jai Ma.